Okay, hello and welcome to our final revision video. So this one is about how to organise your time. So I hope that you've enjoyed this series of revision videos about how to revise, but now you might be thinking, well, how do I get started? What do I do? So I want to talk to you now about how to plan your time. Here you'll find 10 steps to planning how to revise really strategically. You might not do it that way, and that's fine. But some of these bits you might think that's a really great idea and I'll do that. Others you might think that's going to take me too long just to even plan, let alone actually starting. But this would be how I would do it and how it will help you to kind of structure your time the best. So, start off by using your PLCs or your learning journeys or textbooks or revision guides to chunk each subject into topics that you could revise in 25 minutes. Because you might remember from that first revision video I did that 25 minutes is the kind of optimum time for revision or for a chunk of revision. Then you have a short break and then you do another 25 minutes. So chunk your subjects into 25-minute topics. Remember that if you know a topic really well, it's going to take you less time to revise than if it's a topic that you struggle with. Secondly, then you go through those topics and you RAG rate it. So red for if you really can't remember anything about that topic, amber if you think you could maybe answer a little bit about it, but not a huge amount, and green if you think actually you can remember that topic pretty well. Then you need to count how many of those chunks you have in total and use a calendar to count how many days are left until your exams. So some of you may be preparing for your GCSEs or your A-levels. Some of you it will be an end of unit assessment. Some of you it will be a end of year test. So count how many days you've got until that assessment. And then work out how many chunks you need to do each day. So if you start well enough in advance, you might only need to do one. You might need to do a little bit more when you get closer to the exams. If you're starting a little bit closer, you might need to do a little bit more each day. Then you need to plan which day you'll do each chunk. It's up to you how you do this, but I would start with the amber because that will give you a bit of confidence that actually some of the things that you think you can't remember too much, you can learn and remember a lot better pretty quickly. So that will give you a bit of a boost. Then do some greens and that will reassure you again. And then that will help you before you start on those trickier red topics. And then finish with some more green and repeat if you have time. So if you can, it would be better to go back over those amber and red topics. Personally, I wouldn't go over the green ones again. I would use my time more effectively to look at the ones that I would feel were more challenging. It's best if you interleave subjects and topics, and what we mean by that is that you don't just do a chunk of 2 weeks of maths revision and then a chunk of 2 weeks of RE revision and then a chunk of 2 weeks of science revision, because that's not as effective as if you do if you interleave these topics. So you do 25 minutes of one topic of biology, then you do 25 minutes of a topic of chemistry. The next day you do 25 minutes of maths, and then 25 minutes of English, then 25 minutes of history, for example. And once you've then decided which order and which topics you are doing when, then add that to a calendar. Make sure you write it down somewhere so you are not wasting time each day when you go to start your revision thinking, oh, which one am I going to do today? So write it down. It can either be on a physical calendar or you could do it on your phone, on a Google calendar or something like that. But what's then best is to share that. Share that with whoever you live with and potentially even share that with your friends as well. Because that'll help keep you on track. If you know that someone else knows that you should be revising a particular thing that day, then you're more likely to do it. And then just a reminder of the basics. I talked about these in the first session. but it's always helpful to kind of rethink about these before you start on your revision. So find a space where you can be organised. Try to keep your phone in a different room so that you are not disturbed. Research actually shows that even if your phone is near to you, even if it's on silent, you are still more distracted than if it is out of where you can see it. Try and be in a calm place where you're not too warm, too cold, too tired, too hungry. Try and eat and sleep well, eat healthily. Try not to be distracted or frustrated because the content won't stick as well. The Pomodoro method is 25 minutes of really focused work and then a 1 to 5 minute break. And then you repeat that 3 times and then have a longer break. And I quite like in those breaks to reward yourself. So maybe it is that you have some sort of sweet treat or something after your 25 minutes, and then maybe after the next 25 minutes you get to check your phone, and then at the end you get to plan when you're going to see your friends at the weekend or something like that. Doing the Pomodoro method and planning it out, as I've mentioned just now, helps you to do little and often. It means that you're not going to cram. So if you schedule it and you stick to it, then you can do it. And as I said at the start, be positive. Okay, if you have a mindset that you can do well and you can achieve well, then you will. So, as always, if you need any help with revision, please see me in room 203 at lunchtime, late lunch on Tuesdays. Thank you.